Welcome, welcome to my lovely IHP community and the 5D collective. So you're going to hear a little bit of noise in the background, but you can just try to ignore it. And for those who are new, give me a minute as I am moving into some storytelling from a previous episode that we were chit-chatting about. So if you are here from that one, we had the golden egg messages for securely attached, self-led people and spiritual mystics. I believe it was with the storytelling, okay? And we're going to continue with some storytelling. So when you are emotionally mature, you know that emotionally immature people are not dependable and they are not trustworthy because they lack an open heart. And so as a mystic, spiritual, mindfully living, loving, empowered person, what I can tell you is that I am imperfect. As one of our shorts, I shared that. And I am flawed. But at least I am not a liar or closed-hearted. Now, the not being closed-hearted is because I tend to my small 0-1-year-old. Okay, so I'm a perfectionist, but I'm a mature version of that, which is what we were looking at. So I know that all of us are flawed, and thanks to a facade friend of mine, let me see which one, here we go. Thanks to my facade friend, I don't actually get into people's faces when I meet that which is not the brilliance of them, okay? So we're carrying towards all of humanity, the perfectionists at their best, and we also do know that we will be curious, open-minded towards all possibilities, but that we're all going to, again, experience betrayal, imperfections, but it's not something that you actually call tragedy over, which is why our twin flame and flames, there's no tragedy. So as an empowered feminine, I have my own empowered masculine, my own complete counterpart, and then, again, when you're an empowered feminine, you know that the empowered masculine is your counterpart because you complement each other. And that's because you are securely attached people who are self-led by two sides of the brain. So you don't repeat the messy past disaster, which is what a Patrick Tiahan takes care of. He's a good therapist for childhood trauma survivors who don't want to continue playing out their childhood version, which is a Cusco. And those are the emotionally immature people who do not have access to the golden eggs essence or the message that I read to you. That's because they don't have an open heart. And so while I can admit to flaws and imperfections, and then I can also be emotionally vulnerable, they will not. They close their heart, and the only way that their actual vulnerability shows is in the Cusco manner, which is not anything available. It's emotionally immature. They think they're brilliant. In the meantime, it's not brilliance because it's all a bunch of low self-esteem, in and out, bullshit Cusco sentences. I met them all when I was a teenager, which is why when I'm a grown woman, I don't really do much. And my facade friend is the reason why I also don't get in their face. Okay, so I would call him consistently as we became friends since we were teenagers, an asshole. And then I called him a clown, and eventually he's still a clown. I just know that he's growing more sensitive, like a bunch of older people who don't grow self-esteem. And this is the part of let you know, healthy self-worth human beings, they don't hold back. We just automatically will know I got one of two ways that a person's going to show up. It's going to be in their open-heartedness, and that means I'm going to have a good time. And I'm going to feel it. If it's not that, then I'm going to feel the clown, because the clown is a mask, and the clown is the exile, protectors. It's a bullshit attitude, which is why there's no Lucifer demon. This is not something evil. All evil needs therapy. And anybody who doesn't believe in neuroscience, you can go somewhere else. I already talked to God about this evil thing. And again, you don't prove spirituality, which is why when someone dismisses that which is God, a mystic doesn't say, wow, you're going to go to hell. No, you're going to not, that I'm not God. I don't cast a stone. I'm a consistent, contingent communicator. So again, you're caring for all humanity if you are a perfectionist who is matured and your nervous system is within that which is discernment, equanimous, thank you God, love. So affectionate, gentle, inspiring, noble, appropriate, compassionate, discerning, wise are ones at their best. Obviously, I won't be the one who describes all of that, but I will say that my mother did teach me what noble means, and so I won't be like my teenage boyfriend, someone who does effective realism. So as a teenager, he was saying that my faith is fake. And I learned thanks to him how I will leave it alone. I learned thanks to my facade friend how I will leave it alone. And then I learned from the attachment trauma educators how every human being who has a little bit of anything that is remotely humorous, I will leave it alone. Because God, thank you. As he points out, don't judge human suffering a waste of your fucking time, because you get to, thanks God, consistently, I'm an Akashic record reader, physically master Maria in what? In her unconditionally loving, flawed, imperfect tone of, at least I'm not a liar, at least I know vows and integrity, and I don't speak that to people. Because that's the part of where those who have shame, defectiveness, blame, revenge, and all, they don't want to be seen. That's why Patrick Tiahan does a great job with them. That's why Cusco is not impressive. None of the stories that I share with you are impressive. Pacha's impressive, because Pacha doesn't turn his back. And Cusco's mannerisms continue to be unimpressive. There's nothing noble about a person. A man isn't enough to be saluted. It's passive-aggressive, Janina Fisher. He's not in therapy. When I saw him the nth time, at least you looked at me. But it's not passive-aggressive to me, because I'm a functional inner child adult. And I have an open heart. And Jesus, God, and Holy Spirit taught me, blessed are those who believe without seeing. And Dr. Daniel Fox, Dr. Daniel Siegel, Bezel Vanderkolk, and Pat Ogden, and all of them taught me, when I have a red and a yellow, there's no point in me interacting, and I'm not going to try to interact. I'm not going to play a game. There's no game. It's a sad story when I'm having, because see, to me, the moment that I have to become that which is a ventral vagal state, breathing, I learned from the best of the best of the best. How it doesn't matter what I speak. Thanks, facade friend. And so you breathe because there's no point. Thanks, Stephen Porges, for giving me the logic that keeps me grounded in integrity and the reality of those who do not care to take themselves to heal will consistently perform, and that's their performance. So when they're in their left, they are all well behaved. Then they're in their right, they're not, but they think they're brilliant. In the meantime, the buffoons come out of the woodwork at their volition, and those of us who are consistent, we get to keep moving forward, which is why an empowered feminine will tell you, don't waste my fucking time, and God will chime in reminding us that we always get the opportunity to become more loving like Akash Source will, because every piece of consciousness can always choose life and love if they choose to be their true self, and to know that which is the most amazing of journeys of this lifetime is that you can become all of the healthy self-images. You can become logical and genuine. You can become empathic and nurturing. You can become successful and admirable, authentic and intuitive, perceptive, observant, dependable, and trustworthy. You can become optimistic and energetic, honest, tenacious, gentle, and friendly, because you can become a prefrontal cortex who is a truly intelligent human being who's not influenced by implicit, explicit memory, nor deluded by imagination, because you're not hooked on drama, because you tend to your past. You are living in your present, and you are living with the knowledge that the future is not yet written, in dark matter and dark energy, please don't implode. Okay, so grounded in reality, mystic, spiritual, there's no doomsday story, because that's the 3D, 4D collective. They need to have a superhero, supervillain in their story, because they're still saving themselves. You'll spot adaptive child part people. They always have an angle that involves a low frequency, because that's exactly where they're at. So let me read you that which is a scale. Shame 20, guilt 30, apathy 50, grief 75, fear 100, desire 125, anger 150, pride 175, courage 200, neutrality 250, trust. Teenage boyfriend cheats on me first time. I say, look, I'm not going to check your phone. You didn't lose any trust. I'm not doing what our friends do. I'm not jealous. And we move forward. I'm a 45-year-old woman, again, a self-empowered, healthy self-worth woman, polyamory, monoamory, and man, and they will have compersion. Love is, I don't own you. You don't own me, da 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 da. But nobody owns anyone. But for sure, we want each other to be safe haven, secure bases to each other. That's a securely attached mono polyamory. It won't matter. Intelligent brains are those who are mentally, emotionally, and physically intelligent, from our spiritual to our mystic to our mindful community, Men, Women, and Days. That's why it's fun to read to you these. So some of them are great, others are not, meaning that some are accurate, others are not. The PDP framework, on the other hand, that uses our subcortical brain areas, that's pretty spot on, if not 100%. Because I will still be physically frazzled for physical safety. Self-agency still dominates, but I am a master of Maria's anger, fear, and sadness, because I'm a master also of happiness, disgust, and surprise. Because I am imperfect and flawed, but at least I'm not a liar or close-hearted, and that's because I can repair ruptures. Maria, it's okay. You didn't listen to your clear conscience and you followed a crowd. The grown-ups told you what you all would do. Now that you've learned that they're all actually liars, and one of the most important moments of my life, I'll never forget it, because I learned how it's okay. You did something you're ashamed of. You can't take it back, but you did what everyone else did, and what you learned is more valuable than what you are right now evaluating, which is, yeah, you did make a mistake. Everyone does. God will listen to you, communion, confession, all that. And then you learn how to spot every teenager in the room and all of those bullshitters. And to this day, that's why a person who is going to think they're brilliant while they're being basically a low self-esteem, a revenge, spite, attached cry, all of that which is not mature, people that I meet every day will tell me about little things as we just chit chat. And then as we talk of mindfulness, since I'm a mindfulness practitioner, again, self-help, personal development, they'll tell me of the effort they don't put into. And that's when I think of the therapist, because Patrick Chan says it. You don't stop. You learn first how to spot the unkindness from your childhood trauma, and then you take ownership and you say you're sorry, and you keep doing it. And you keep doing it. I'm still saying sorry for my 3-year-old to my mother and my twin. And it's not let me leave it alone and pretend I didn't do anything. No, I will take ownership, because awareness is simply, awareness is nothing. You just became aware of it. Ownership is where the big cojones is, because you say I'm wrong, and then you're not saying I'm sorry, because I'm sorry doesn't cut it. It is actions speak louder than words. So it is, I acknowledge that I have bad manners sometimes, and I acknowledge that it is coming from where it comes from, and I acknowledge it, which is where Terry, thanks man. So he shares with all of us how to be people who are actual life partners, which is why it's awesome. And if any of you are in partnerships, therapists, because you have a mediator. Simply because biologically rude people, they don't hear you, which is what I explained to a bunch of ones who think they can do it on their own. I say, you don't understand. It's a physiological state. In the moment, like Dr. Daniel Fox would present, there's no point. You already got an offline human being. There's no point. And if there's no actual let's talk about, there's no accountability. So it doesn't matter if you're aware, like I've talked again, it's, well, people are assholes, why should I? So Cusco lies to Patch at the end of the whole movie. It's a coward. Cowards will continue to be cowards, because it's only with a Patrick Chan or Cheerio when you understand that I'm actually in shame, blame, fault, revenge mannerisms that have nothing to do with me of now, with my left brain. No, this is all my child parts that come up. So exiles, protectors, they want to be a part of the story. It's when a person says, I am all of me. That's why compassion, because the exiles, protectors, they want to be welcomed, but they can only be welcomed by the person who has them. So the best thing for any emotionally mature person, again, is where you're not gonna play a game, because there's no point. My facade friend taught me what clowns do. They don't take ownership. And I'll use so 5 years after I'm not speaking to him, just giving you the gist of it, I sit him down and we talk. And I tell him something. I say, only reason I'm telling you this is because you will judge a book by its cover, and every single person that is a clown like my facade friend, adaptive child part people, I will have very strong opinions, but there's neutrality and duality, because my beliefs can be falsifiable because I'm objectively aware of my subjective experience. That is a securely attached, self-led human being who is not justifying it. It is I, with all of the ease in my heart. There's one God. I'm of spirit, by the way. I'm not just of science, because had I been only of science, Peter Levine, Dr. Daniel Siegel, all of my courses, attachment trauma, I left classes crying and saying, I need to not go out. I'm a securely attached, non-traumatized human being. You know how many people are getting triggered by the minute? When I'm near certain people that I know, I say, are you okay? I can leave. One of my girlfriends, this girlfriend and I, we are, oh, I love her. I love her. And she has so much potential. She's living a good life outside. She could be doing way better if she got a good therapist, but she's not going to. And our first conversation was this. Her and I were just chit-chatting and having a good time, and this was, 2-3 years ago? And anyways, so we're just talking about boys, men, as we're grown women, but, and she's like, no, but you need to fuck him first. I said, no, I'm a gray. I'm not a... that part doesn't even, not necessarily at all. Yeah. And she's like, but you're blocking. I'm not blocking. I don't want no STDs. And again, it's not my, no, but how do you, no. Again, what you find out from Stephen Porges, love is when you are securely attached, and those who navigate life from visceral, not the place. So when you hear Gabor Mate, that's why it's not Lucifer. Bad guts are people who have ding, 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 ding. And in fact, this is where I've met year after year after year after year of human beings in my courses who have not good guts, and they're learning things, and they're not with Patrick Tiahan. And they are continuing to do the little Tom and Jerry drama kings and queens. And let's go ask each other questions to make sure we don't get fucked with again. So, the part of, if you care about yourself, you care about becoming emotionally mature, mentally mature, physically mature. 1. If you got lucky, I got lucky, you stay yourself, you stay conscious, aware, and you commit to walk a walk and talk a talk. I know who I can thank, and then I can thank all of my Oversoul members for allowing me the opportunity to say, yes, I'm going to be the kind, open-hearted human being who knows that as a 45-year-old woman, I don't change a clown, because the clown is a buffoon because of being unseen, unheard, unwanted, and unsafe in their household, not with me. So I will not do unto them that which was already done to them, and that which I do not want to be done to me. Your unkind business, which I already witnessed as a kid and said, yes, God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, I promise I will turn the other cheek, I will forgive, and I will know that my brothers and sisters, they are all like me. And I will believe without seeing. Today, science proves what I already knew as a kid. It's just humorous, because sometimes I feel like I'm living a dream. I'm like, I know I can make sense to myself to real. That's why. Believe me. But I also know data when I hear it. And then I know data when I see it. And so again, thanks to my facade friend so after 5 years, I'm talking, it's a very serious, amazing conversation. After 2 days, he's like, I don't know how you do it. I'm like, what? Be there for people, because he knew he was an asshole, because that's the point. He's an asshole. He's an active, selfish asshole. And he's not the only one who's admitted this in ways that I'm like, okay, whatever, because I don't need you. You don't need me. We don't owe each other anything. Social time, we've chosen. So I'm going to accept, love, and respect you. You're not testing me. I don't give a shit, your mannerisms, because you're not affecting my day-to-day life. My day-to-day life is inside my head. It's inside my heart. It's not your bonus in life. I got air, I got water, I got food. I got better things to do than to worry. No, I'm not going to worry about, you know what happens when you got emotionally unavailable? Here's another story. People who actually allow you to know how much they suffer life. They give you a scare. Don't take ownership. Don't give 2 shits of how many nights you may have not slept thinking of the words that they left you hanging with for 30 fucking whole days. I'll never forget that. And I had no attachment trauma education, because that's not my degree. My bachelor's and master's are in other fields. Once I learned it, I was like, oh, thank goodness. Okay, this is making a whole bunch more sense. I'm like, okay, awesome. Thank you so much. So I'm not going to feel pity. That's disrespectful. I'm not going to feel bad for someone who's ignoring Patrick Tiahan and Terreal and then walking around thinking that evil wins, or thinking that people are bullshit, or thinking blah, 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 because they do the same things that all these people do. Bring their karma into the wheelhouse and just play on a low frequency, which it doesn't even affect, again, us, and it doesn't affect the world, because love always wins, because life wins. And fear is a part of love, because fear is a feeling that protects me from the bears. So if you choose to commit to your unkindness and your fear and your adaptive child part, you're not doing anything that I need to correct. Hey, there's fancy men and women in suits that they make billions and millions, and They're having a great time pretending. No, they're performing for love. They're telling you how they're going to dismantle all modern day therapists, and all by themselves they do it. And the people who flock to their cauldron. Poor unfortunate souls. So sad, but true. That one wanting to be pretty, yes, and they all look not. Oh, they can look pretty. In the meantime, I'm thinking you can look as pretty as you can be. Your inner child is dying in hell. Your soul's fine because your soul's a piece of consciousness. So I know you're my brother and sister anyways. But you are living out half of the life you could be because you're ignoring how hurt people who hurt people can go to Patrick Tan and get therapy. That sounds pretty lame, don't you think? Then again, neuroscience and therapists. So anytime someone's deflecting some very serious conversation, and so people that I do know, they're clowns, and therapists have all informed me you can't make anyone do anything, which I already knew. And then they say if they don't want to take ownership of those wounds, that's why Sadhguru, it's not all human beings who are destructive and destructive mode. It's only the ones who don't love. And they don't love themselves first, which is why it's as Gary Vee points out, anyone who's hurting anyone is really just hurting themselves, which is why evil doesn't win, because they're the ones who actively are just playing a game. Meantime, we're busy with our imagination as successful entrepreneurs and our implicit, explicit memory and our entire bodies, the intelligent ones, restorative embodiment, self-aware, accountable, regulating. It is not a competition. It is not a race. It is how self-aware are you? Are you accountable? Do you regulate? If you wake up and you're weighed down by life and your thoughts and feelings weigh you down, then there's a solution, and it's a good therapist. Because if they pathologize you, they're not a good therapist. If they don't believe in states of self, if they don't believe in EMDR, chop arts work, and somatic sensory motor, if they don't believe in educating you, if they're not compassionate, so anyone who's giving you only yesterday's news, they're not the ones who are helping people. And the ones who pathologize, they're not helping either. The ones who create communities out of, as Patrick Tan points out, there's their experience, which is why I talk about him, because he builds a community of people who are taking ownership and wanting to become their inner adult. Terra Real is great for all those who are couples. Dr. Daniel Fox for people who are serious about borderline and narcissism. Dr. Daniel Siegel for anyone who's interested in the whole shebang. Basil Vanderkolk, Janina Fisher, Peter Levine, Patrick Tian I mentioned. Stephen Porges is continuing his research, and any of those who are denying that Patrick McNamara, neuroscientist, is proving that, again, there's no demon. Again, it's the people who want a story for themselves, that are not looking to make themselves emotionally available to themselves and to humanity, because their faith in humanity was broken when their faith in themselves was broken. And that's a sad story. So yes, all people are children of God the way I was taught. And they all can become that which is a child that has an open-heartedness. And then they don't need to be ashamed anymore. They don't need to be afraid anymore, because it takes time. Again, but it takes, first of all, the person wanting to work with someone and themselves to be honorable and to be seen is really, really hard, as Patrick Tian pointed. I don't know how it is, because I am not afraid to be Maria. I'm a self-agent who said, you can't spank me. It's my body. I'm not kidding. So that's why Determined, Robert Sposty, come on in. He knows a thing and more about what it is for, I haven't read it yet, but I know what he's talking about. And then that's why I know what clowns do. They'll continue to pretend, and the ones of us who are pachas, it's not that we don't know what's going on, it's that there's no point. You don't want accountability. You don't want to heal. You don't really want anything except for performance and an act, and that's because your heart's closed, so I will know that. And my golden egg will not close itself, and that's because genuine authenticity is what will consistently be there, but also because when you're an emotionally mature person, you know how to take care of your nervous system. You're 0-1-year-old, you're 3 to 7, you see what I'm saying? So you're safe haven, secure base. Securely attached, non-traumatized people, we self-regulate in the absence of another. So while I have an ecosystem, I will be able to create my ecosystem. And when it comes to partners, life partners have therapy with therapists that are good, like Terra Real. And when people have said that's too serious, I say, for you, not for me. I'm attachment trauma informed. And that is where it's not too serious, because you care about the livelihood of the relationship. And so the number one food for thought, again, to me, if anyone I've said says no to therapy, and when someone said I said no, I said, why? Don't you want the relationship to work? No, I don't need it. Why do I have to? I know I've said I don't need it, I don't have to with my family, but that's my immediate family who I know I can work with consistently. And that's different though if I'm marrying you because you're a stranger. You're gonna be a stranger. I didn't know you the first 3 years of your life. My family I've known since I was born. My mother, my sisters, again, you know what I mean? Other family extended. But my point is, wouldn't you want to know that you're going to successfully thrive? And that's where if someone's saying no, usually it's because they're not doing something already. So it's a red flag to me if you say no, I don't want it. If you say yes, that's great, but good one. Awesome, high five, you know what I'm talking about. That's actually something that all of us know. EMDR, chart parts, work somatics, they don't pathologize you, and they know that you can become the best version of yourself because you're all there. The exiles, protectors, all of that, which is something called the child versions. That's why it's a securely attached person who's brave, the ones who get earned, because you don't delete trauma. But you also can leave yourself to, again, just play out something that is torture, and that's not the nice part of a person. That's why the ones who don't take it seriously, we are going to make sure that they know we love you all brothers and sisters, but healthy self-worth people will not say, oh, sure, keep yourself in a state that is, no. Okay, so again, some people won't like those of us who talk in this way. That's because they already don't like us anyways. They don't believe in neuroscience. They don't believe that there's parts of states of self. They don't believe that there is no monster inside of people. They want to continue its stories. You know who likes stories? The ones that make up monsters and villains, the same ones who are the Peter Pans with the Lost Boys. The half-brained people need a story to pretend in Never Never Land that they have some battle that they need to win. It's not how hard you hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. They are addicted to their drama. I have a course on that. I need to finish it up, but this is where I'm not addicted to drama. I'm addicted to love. All you need is love. Boom, boom, boom. All you need is love. And that's when you know you're an open-hearted, spontaneous inner child, adult. Thank you, Patrick Chan. When you are saying humanity, we all can be that. Not all will choose love, but we will know when it's not love, and it's okay because the fearful ones are not any danger. They're on the low emotional, mental, and physical intelligence scale, 1 to 22. Thanks, Michael Stone, forensic criminologist. Your scale's awesome. So evil is not from philosophy or religion. At this point, we all know, and sin, the whole sin thing, again, ancient history, because it's not Lucifer. It's trauma, and the ones who don't like to hear it, we already know they like to talk about us as, how dare they ruin tradition. The ones of them who use pronouns, the ones of them who are polyamory, the ones of them who talk about not getting married. And excuse me, do you know what happens to little boys and little girls, and I still have to hear about it in the year 2025? Because if you keep talking to me about tradition in that way, I'm going to say, I know a lot of people, and I recently met a journalist, an official one, as he talks to me about the crimes that happen in the city that I'm at right now. And I'm like, wow. And him and I had a really great conversation, and I'm like, do we have any good therapists that are going to the prisons by any chance? Because I know that in America they're doing some stuff about it. There's Russell Colt, and there's a bunch of other ones. They're compassionate. They're all the smart ones, not the idiots who say lack of imagination for evil, who think they're actually impressive. Not impressive to me. If in your 1 minute short you don't tell me about therapy, but you end it with shame, and I don't get a text back, I think you're inaccurately giving me a message that maybe, am I supposed to be ashamed that I fucked you? Is that what it is? I'm not going to feel ashamed that I'm going to say, wow, I'm so happy they didn't text me back. They actually have disgust and contempt towards me, which means they didn't have a good time. Have shame. I don't know where that goes. But they definitely shouldn't have fucked. I mean, in college, I met these people and I said, don't fuck. Why are you? And they didn't talk about contempt. They just said, I'm alone. I'm lonesome. I'm lonely. I'm more lonely after I fuck. Okay, that's a sign that you don't want to do it then. No, I'm just saying, you just told me with your mouth you're lonely. That's why aren't you using logic? Okay, so awesome. I'm 45 again. Since I was a kid, did I learn? Yes, but it wasn't anywhere near, again, as devastating as these people who hit rock bottom like Pinocchio. And I think, wow, really? What the? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Patrick Tian, what did you tell your community the other day? That you are what? So he shares. They're a minority. The ones who go heal. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think they're a minority? I'm going to say that at this point right now, I'm actually with Patrick Tian. And with the Terman and Robert Sapolsky's book too. And with Dr. Daniel Siegel. It's why my friend, he called me a hypocrite. You say this and that are true. Well, because, I'm grounded in reality. Sam Harris, any of my charitable beliefs could be falsifiable. This is why people who are not expansive, you're a buffoon. No, I'm not. I'm actually not. I'm making sense for the community that I'm building, and I'm making sure to have the ones who are meant to be here. I don't actually do this. If you can't say something nice, I don't say something unnice. And please appeasers come out of the woodwork because they want to be a part of the crowd. And people who are motivated with bonding want to be a part of a crowd. And I ain't looking to build a crowd. I'm building a community of securely attached, self-led human beings who do love Jesus. And that's for my spiritual community. So we know forgiveness. I mean, it's not forgave. They know, like Dr. Daniel Siegel presents, that the past doesn't change. So you can't change what you did, which is why I said, it's okay, Maria. You learned. What did you learn? Coward, 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 coward. But I did something that I'm not proud of. What did you learn? Never to do it again. Okay, what did you also learn? I'm going to be kind because I want people to be kind to me. Okay, good. Does that make you feel good? Yes. Am I selfish? Sure, fine. That's fine with me because that's how people will twist it. You're doing kindness because you're selfishly wanting to be a good girl? Yeah, you know what? Yes. I'm gonna keep on letting you understand how it works when you have someone who doesn't know how to simply be a good, decent human being and know we have feelings. They're not hard. And that FYI, it is based on the room. So when you have compassionate, a full room of people like a Dr. Daniel Siegel, a Peter Levine, whenever I think of Peter Levine, Sue Martin, the ones who I learned from, again, I leave those classes crying. And then you meet assholes out in the street who continue to disregard data. The ones who are compassionate, I love those people. And the majority of them are science and spirituality together, because spiritual, again, it's straightforward what the equation with God is. It's you choose kindness or you don't. You choose to follow Jesus or you don't. The ones who are doing all the scripture and treating each other like shit, that's ancient history. Then the ones who say see source within everyone and then you will forgive, that's very different. I see people doing that and they have a whole bunch of spiritual bypassers, and that's for another time. I'm gonna leave that one alone. But being able to tell you, it's how you walk a walk and talk a talk. Do you treat people with kindness and authenticity and transparency? It is very easy to do. Like, it's very easy to notice when you are in a charge, when you are bringing stuff up, when you're into it, right? Okay, so if you're looking to have a good time, then you're gonna settle down. When you have people who are also looking to be in a good time, you don't ever have to do any of what I just described, but you're not always gonna be around securely attached, non-traumatized, healthy self-worth men, women, and days. And when you are gonna be around the ones who are this, you're gonna notice it because we're always in a flow state together. There's none of this stuff that gets into low frequency. It's amazing. So when you get a spiritual bypasser, a savior complex, a half a brained person in the moment, and any of that Cusco stuff, it's automatic. I'm even just talking about it. I already got recalibrated. But letting go of the old model of thinking, darkness before light, burning all to the ground, uncontrolled fires. I don't know. This I remember. This was one of our readings for a while back. Emotional evolution, evolved. Flow, feminine, intuition, expansion, water, unconscious emotion. So right now, June is going to be a hot month for those who are expanding and for those who are not, because we all expand one way, shape, or form. Whether you do karma or dharma, you're going to keep moving forward in life. We move forward with the integrated brain, restorative embodiment, self-aware, accountable, regulating. At least I do, and those who will keep coming back because you like it too. And there's video exercises for paid subscription-based model content. You write me if you want one-to-one mentorship. Sign up for the masterclass, you email me, and also for workshops or retreats. I love to have the spiritual stuff in my toolkit, so if you are curious, check out the episode where we talk about the golden egg message. There's going to be more of this, actually, because I know that each card gives something more, and I want to talk about that one. But not today and not for now. In the meantime, thanks for stopping by. Again, please remember, we're all flawed, we're all imperfect, everyone does do the best they can. The ones who are bringing their A game are securely attached, getting there or are there, and we get to say yes. Yes. Resiliency with emotions and thoughts is amazing. To think and feel easily, and the ones say, but it's hard, you're making it sound easy. There's the other group. You can go hang out with them. They do karma. They're really enjoying their next drama on a wheelhouse with their twin flame and flames and soulmates and a bunch of more shit that they keep doing. Oh, when teenagers are brought to the end of their light, now shadow begins. So they just do light, shadow, and then they think they're doing things when they're losing people. Which tells you, Diego's family, how you doing? You doing great? Because we're over here with Manny, Diego, and Sid, Pacha, Cusco, you name it. But we're all being Pachas, at least the ones of us who are doing secure, attached, self-led shit. We know the clowns. This is why we don't let them in on fun facts, but we're having a good time all together. What are you guys doing? You're isolating yourselves. Which one's the island? Is it Peter Pan's with Pinocchios, or is there Wendy? Are you with the pseudo-intellectuals by any chance who tell you how not to go to therapy? And so that's the new stories I get to bring to you again. Human, spirituality, elements together to explore human evolution, consciousness, and you being you, mindfully in connection. That's why you got the golden egg. The golden goose egg. That makes me think of Harry Potter, right? With that little golden thing, whatever it is. But, okay, we'll be back again with more. Thanks for stopping by.